Good evening. Welcome to the Ask Me Anything with Dr. Twyman. I'm a board-certified cardiologist helping people become heart attack proof. If you're ever interested in working with me on one-on-one, my practice is Apollo Cardiology in St. Louis. You can apply on my website, drtwyman.com. And if you're looking for more educational content, that's in my school community. It's drtwyman.com/school. Today I dropped an infographic on an interesting article recently from the European Society of Cardiology. It was about regression of coronary atherosclerosis or plaque in the arteries. It was all kind of Western-based, treatments, but there are other things that can be done to help regress plaque as well. So don't be put off by it that it's more pharmaceutical-based, but at least gives you an idea that plaque is regressible if you hit the right metrics. So hope you guys had a great Christmas, Merry Festivus, and hopefully we'll have a good New Year. So we got a few questions answered tonight. If you have other questions that you want to ask, just drop them in the comments. It looks like we're probably going to have a relatively low census tonight, which is understandable during the holidays, but every Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, we do these Ask Me Anythings, and I like to try to keep that streak going. So first question up tonight, what is my stance on a 48, 72-hour fast? I always tell people it depends on what is the reason the person wants to fast. Are they overweight, insulin resistant? Are they doing it because they have seizures? They have cancer? What is the reason they want to do a fast? The biggest concern for somebody doing an extended fast is the loss of skeletal muscle mass. Think of it as, a way to increase muscle mass is going to be like an escalator, very, very slow. Losing muscle mass can be like an elevator. So if you do too many extended fasts and start losing skeletal muscle, that's going to be a problem for you as your metabolism will tend to slow down at that point. So you need to know why you want to fast. If you're going to do it, you need to be cognizant of being hydrated, particularly with some electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, and such. All right. So it says, can barely hear me. Unknown why. Using a very fancy microphone, and this is on all. Let's see if anybody else is logged on. Can anybody else actually hear me at this point? Maybe it's a change in what Instagram's doing with microphones, so might have to upgrade the microphone in a second. Well, we'll just disconnect it. Well, people usually complain when I don't use a microphone, but we'll see if this works any better. So how's this for you guys? So we're talking about a 48, 72-hour fast. Okay. All right. Going forward, no more external microphones. There's something wrong with Instagram. So, all right. So take it to the top. So happy holidays, everybody. Hope you had a great Christmas. Getting ready for the new year. Had my meeting with my great team at Apollo Cardiology today. We have a lot of interesting and exciting things for you guys in 2026. I'm going to be expanding my school community, drtwyman.com/school. That's where I do more of my long-form education, longer Ask Me Anythings. And today I dropped a interesting infographic I generated with AI, used Notebook LM, and basically summarized a 30-page article that I read recently from the European Society of Cardiology about regression of coronary plaque or atherosclerosis. It's all Western-based, so don't be put off by it. It's all mostly lifestyle and pharmaceutical-based. There are other things that can be done that can regress plaque that aren't just pharmaceuticals. That gives you an idea that what the things you need to do if you really want plaque to stop building up and help you become heart attack proof. So first question up tonight was, what's my stance on a 48, 72-hour fast? So sorry for the microphone issue before. Don't know exactly what's going on with that. So answering it, I said that it really depends on why you want to fast. If it's for seizures, cancer, weight loss, immune function, insulin resistance, there has to be a good reason. And you have to stay very well hydrated. And particularly, you probably need to add electrolytes, particularly sodium, potassium, and magnesium, if you're going to do these extended fasts and not get lightheaded, dizzy, and pass out. The big concern is losing skeletal muscle mass during those fasts. You're not getting leucine in. If you're completely water fasting only, your skeletal muscle requires resistance training or leucine for stimulus. So the days that you fast, you really should be doing some type of strength training to support the skeletal muscle mass. It's kind of like an escalator. It takes a very long time to build up skeletal muscle mass. Very easy to lose it. Escalator down. You can lose multiple pounds of muscle in a hospitalization when you're very sick. So you don't want to do anything that really risks losing some mass. Avoid it. And you need to have a very good reason why you want to fast and what your goals are with it and what you're going to be monitoring. All right. Next question tonight. Do blue blocking glasses fully protect from the hazards of LCD screens? Short answer is no. They do a good job depending on what wavelength of light you're trying to block. These ones still allow some blue photons to reach the melanopsin receptors. I still want to be, alert during the day, so I wear these ones. If you switch to the red tinted lenses that block 100% of blue and 100% of green spectrum, get more protection, but they generally made me relatively tired within 30 to 60 minutes of putting them on. So I'd only wear them if I was planning to be in bed at a certain time. I generally wear the red tinted lenses only when I'm traveling and trying to mitigate. Small vessel disease in the brain and plaque in the LAD, is that considered multivessel disease? I wouldn't know exactly, by terms if it would be, but if it's in more than one territory, yes, that's a problem. Because I often tell people that you have nearly 60,000 miles of blood vessels. If you use the right tools, you can often find the plaques in multiple beds. So not surprising if you have plaque in the coronary arteries, that you'll have plaque in the brain arteries. But multivessel disease in a cardiology speaking term would generally be that it's the coronary arteries, it would be plaque in the RCA, circ, and LAD. So typically it's the coronary arteries versus multivessel disease. But same story is that you're going to want to figure out what's damaged the glycocalyx and the endothelial lining, what, if any, inflammation, oxidative stress is going on in the system. You can do that by blood work, and then use certain therapies if needed to optimize the lipoproteins. So the next question tonight is, please advise on removing all the politely eating Christmas fatty foods from the arteries. The short answer is that's not possible and not likely going to occur in short order. The glycocalyx is pretty resilient, but if you do it too much, where you have a lot of high sugar, high insulin, you can damage the glycocalyx relatively rapidly. But the good thing is if you stop doing those things, you can regenerate the glycocalyx. Some people need some supplementation at times to help really regenerate it. But if you get out of its way, it'll get back to normal. The goal is, trying to optimize nitric oxide. So that's green leafy vegetables, that's exercise, that's UVA sun exposure if you're still in a place where you're going outside and getting your skin exposed to UVA light. And then there's various nitric oxide promoters if need be. So that's what I would consider doing, to repair after the holiday eating. But don't beat yourself up too much for it and just get back at it. Next question, what's the ideal level ApoB in a female 74 years old? Is 70 too high with no meds? Again, generally comes down to what is the health of your arteries, particularly the coronary arteries. If you have a CT coronary calcium score of 0, doesn't always mean that you won't have salt plaque in the arteries. About 8% of the time you still would, but a calcium score of 0 would be low risk. Better, would be a CT coronary angiogram demonstrating no plaque, particularly if you use AI analysis with Clearly to confirm that you don't have soft or low density plaque in the arteries. Then 70 is probably a good range. But if you have significant plaque, and that's what I had shared in the school community, lower is better on the LDL-C is what they study in most of the trials. But you can come up with an idea that lower is better with ApoB as well. Plaque will generally regress or at least stop building up when you generally get around 70 to 60 on ApoB. For people who got significant plaque in their arteries or had prior cardiac events, generally shooting for an ApoB of 55 or less. And unless you have a genetic abnormality, such as a loss of function PCSK9 gene, often you're going to have to consider using pharmaceutical interventions to get down that low. It's very hard to do it with just lifestyle interventions alone. People generally are not, completely sedentary eating a standard American diet when they're working with me. They're usually doing some stuff. It's very rare that there's a big dietary intervention they're going to do. The only one I tend to see is if somebody had, quote, normal lipids at one point, switched up to a keto diet, and their lipids significantly rose. Then switching up the types of fast they eat will often get them back down to their normal baseline. All right, so I think that was the pre-submitted questions. I knew there wouldn't be as many with the holidays. If anybody has a question, they want to drop them in the comments. I'll happy to answer for them. Again, apologize for the audio difficulties. I had the Yeti Blue microphone for many years. This is the microphone I use for the majority of the podcast I do, and been using it for Instagram for a couple of years with a adapter, and it's been working well. But maybe the new iPhone 17 Pro that I got and the Instagram algorithms did something with the audio, because I got the audio on full blast on it and my phone on full blast. So I had some feedback last week. There's some issues as well. Interesting is that when I record it and then play back my phone, it sounds reasonable. And then I upload these videos to YouTube, and that's where the archives live. So apologize for the difficulties this week. We'll just go back to the old school using the microphone built into the phone itself. And I have some older Rode microphones. Maybe I'll start using those as well to see if there's better quality with it. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. I always have a standing appointment, 6 p.m. Central Time, to answer these questions. I very much enjoy it. I enjoy giving back to the people who've been supporting me building Apollo Cardiology since 2019. This is one of the ways I did it. Answering these questions helps me, talk to my patients in my practice, helps me answer questions when I get asked them on podcasts. So this is a good practice for me, and I enjoy educating people. So even if you don't work with me one-on-one, which I'm always happy to do if you would like to, you can take this information back to your primary doctor and work with them and ask for the right testing. So everybody can become heart attack proof if they get the right testing. So hope you guys have a happy new year. I'll be back next Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, answering these questions. And if you want more information about my school community, just go to drtwyman.com/school. On the 2nd, I will be doing a coffee and cardiology at 7 a.m. Central Time. It'll be a longer form. Ask me anything. People, if they have labs or other things they want to talk about, we'll go deeper into those topics. So hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you next Monday.